what's up guys? Jimbo here, just enjoying myself a nice cold Virgil's root beer that I'm now finally able to get in my area, thanks to my local Wegmans chain, so rock on Wegmans. One thing I wanted to mention was, I get this comment a lot that people just kind of stumble upon this and that I should mention it more. For anyone out there who doesn't know, guys, I actually have a second YouTube channel. It's Jimbo 24/7. It should be at the bottom of your screen right now. On that channel, it's very, very different from what I do here on the Mr. Jimbo Fox channel. Hence, I created a second channel just to kind of leave it as its own kind of separate entity, because I don't really feel that the two are related, other than I'm the host of both channels. But they're about two very different types of stuff. Like this one is like the guns, knives, gear, outdoor stuff, all that kind of great stuff that we all enjoy, and that's cool. The other one, Jimbo 24/7, is more the other things that I'm into. Like, for example, craft soda pop. I have a recurring video series on there called The Soda Jerk, where I review different types of kind of rare sodas, like Virgil's root beer being one of them. These aren't really super rare, but not really as common as, say, like regular Coke or regular Pepsi. People have sent me sodas, from Maine. My buddy Jack the Ripper 2829 just sent me some really awesome special Dublin Dr. Pepper from Texas, which is really cool. I really enjoyed that. And, I'll gladly send you guys something in return. If you send me something maybe you can only get in Virginia or on the East Coast or something, I'm always happy to return the favor. So if you have a chance, guys, and if interested, I do all kinds of stuff on that channel. Check it out. Again, it's Jimbo 24/7, which is Jimbo 24x7 on YouTube. And stop by and see what you think. Subscribe, check out the videos, and if not, hey, that's cool, guys. I'm not in this for the numbers. I'm not in this to make money. Just in this to basically share information, have some fun, meet new people, as I've done many times here on YouTube. Lots of great folks out there, and just have a good time. I'm having a good time, and I think deep down that's why we're all here, right? Okay, so today I was reading the news. A friend of mine directed me to a news article. This person who directed me to it is not a gun owner, for example, but they do come and hang with me and shoot my guns, so they're not anti-gun. And he felt that it was something that I should read because, well, I'm a gun owner. Some of you may have come across this already. It's been on all the major news outlets on both sides of the equation. The rapidly, ridiculously biased Fox News and the rapidly, ridiculously biased, slightly less biased, CNN.com. Even at the local level, they're doing it. I'm reading this right now in front of me. My computer's next to me on Syracuse.com. That's the first one that came up when I Googled it, but it's put out through the Associated Press and Reuters and stuff, and it all seems to be the same story recycled, over and over again. But here's the skinny. So this Arizona state senator named Lori Klein, who's a freshman state senator, I understand, apparently is in some hot water right now because a reporter for the Arizona Republic, a local newspaper there, was writing a story about her and her practice of carrying a gun into the state capitol. She'd made some headlines before about this, that she goes in strapped, basically, to the Arizona state capitol. And so they basically sent out a reporter to do a story on her and, interview her, ask her about it and stuff like that. And the gun she carries, by the way, is actually a Ruger LCP. She's got the raspberry kind of pink-handled one that I think I've seen for sale in Bud's Gun Shop a few times. It's a kind of girly-looking one, really loud colors and stuff like that. And apparently she's been carrying a gun with her to work since 2000. There is one factual error in the story I will have to point out. It is quoted as exactly such. The freshman lawmaker carries a loaded raspberry pink-handled .380 Ruger with her and has done so since 2000. Well, that can't exactly be accurate as quoted, because the Ruger LCP came out in, I think, 2008 or 2007. It definitely was not 2000. It's a lot newer than that. So obviously she had a different kind of gun earlier. Not a big deal, just a very, very tiny factual error. So here's the kicker. During the interview, which took place last month, the reporter who's interviewing is named Richard Ruelas. And he is claiming that State Senator Klein basically took out her gun and pointed it directly at him. Apparently she's got the Crimson Trace laser sight on it, very common, and he just kind of looked down and noticed a red dot right in the middle of his chest. And according to this gentleman's report, I'll quote, Klein showed off the gun, which, I'm sorry, that's not a quote. Klein shut off the gun, which doesn't have a safety, by pointing the red laser sight at his chest. She assured Ruelas that, excuse me, that he wasn't in any danger because, I quote, I just didn't have my hand on the trigger. On Monday, after some backlash, Klein blamed Ruelas for sitting in front of her gun as she demonstrated the laser sight. Really? She then released a statement saying that she wouldn't be taking any more questions about the incident anymore, but did go on to say that I was asked to show the reporter my weapon so that they could take pictures of it. I ensured that the chamber was clear before displaying the weapon. That is basic gun safety and something that I do instinctively, just like virtually every gun owner. The photographer who was behind me at the time asked me to show him the laser sight, and I did so, turning it on, shining it on the wall in front of me, away from the photographer. During this demonstration, the reporter came and sat down in the sofa in front of me, placing himself in the line of the laser sight. Really? He noticed the light, then I noticed the light, then I turned it off. Okay, that's her side of the story. Mr. Ruelas counters that he did not ask State Senator Klein to show him the laser sight, that she had the gun out and looked down and he basically saw the red dot on his chest. That's, wow, okay, I know there's two sides to every story, guys, but I guess to me it comes down to not really who you want to believe, but which do you put more logic into. That someone would just not have the common sense to not get in front of a gun that's pointed at them. You know, I mean, I don't think that's unique to gun owners, guys. I think when anyone, especially non-gun owners, because they're not, they don't have the practice and the comfort level that we as gun owners do have with guns, where we're comfortable enough to know that we're not going to shoot ourselves. You know, because we handle our firearms, at least I hope. You know, we take the due diligence, we take the appropriate steps, and we have safety as the paramount issue. You know, that's numero uno on the to-do list when handling a firearm. So you've got option A, some dude sits down in front of a gun with a laser sight that's pointed at him that he can see right in front of him in clear daylight. Or someone is just being really, really, really stupid, silly, and irresponsible and pointing the gun at someone based upon their original statement that it was safe because my finger wasn't on the trigger and it wasn't chambered. And then they released a statement more or less completely contradicting what they just said. I'm going to tend to believe the reporter, Mr. Ruelas. I don't really think any rational person would get in front of a gun barrel, especially if they can see it. You know, if they were caught by surprise, that's one thing, but on either side, you know, neither of them are describing it that way, that it was a oh, you know, shit, you got a gun pointed at me. No, I mean, this was, he saw the gun, she saw the gun, everybody saw the gun, you know, it was out there in plain sight. Okay, two issues with that. Number one, the first thing she says is that I ensured that the chamber was clear before displaying the weapon. That is basic gun safety and something that I do instinctively, just like virtually every gun owner. Well, State Senator Klein, I would have to disagree with you, ma'am. The first rule in gun safety, and I think any firearms instructor would back me up on this, is, and I quote, never, ever, ever point a gun at anything that you do not want to destroy, no matter what. Followed by rule number 2, which is very closely related to rule number 1, there is no such thing as an unloaded gun. A gun is always loaded, and you should treat it as such, no matter how sure you are that it is not loaded. She's broken rule number 1 and rule number 2. Guys, I gotta tell you, as a gun owner, and as a person who carries a gun, that I really feel, and especially since this person is an elected public servant in an extremely pro-gun state like Arizona, I really feel that they're doing their state, America, and gun owners a incredible disservice by not leading by example and just honestly being stupid. I mean, there's really just no excuse for that. I mean, if it's legal apparently in Arizona to go into the state Senate building with a gun, and she wants to do so, fine. But first of all, copping out that it's okay because I didn't have my finger on the trigger and it wasn't chambered, that's stupid. And any gun owner would tell you that that's stupid and it's a recipe for disaster. And anyone who does that, I guarantee you they're not going to have many range buddies for very long if they've got that kind of mentality, some idiot waving a gun around. So, guys, no matter which side of this that you're on, no matter who you believe on this, I'm going to leave that up to you. This is merely my opinion, but I'm a little more inclined to believe that the state senator is basically just being an idiot and backpedaling because she's in hot water, whereas the reporter, she's claiming that he just sat down in front of the gun. I'm going to have to call bullshit on that. I don't buy that for a second. Any gun owner or non-gun owner I have ever met, I asked several of them today if they would do that, if they would just kind of sit in front of a gun because someone told them that it wasn't chambered and their finger was off the trigger, and every single one of them I asked said no. And an emphatic no, hell no. So, and I'm pretty sure if you stretch that out and ask a greater range of people, you're going to get the same answer every time, that no one's going to be that stupid to get in front of a gun. Guys, I don't point my gun at myself when I know for a fact that it's unloaded, when I've got the slide rack back, I've made sure that it is not chambered, the magazine is out. I still don't do it. It's simply to form a very, very strict concrete habit that I'm never going to do it under any circumstances, because if I don't do it in the safest circumstances, I'm not going to do it in the least safe circumstances. That's just my approach to it. So just take that for what it's worth. So I just wanted to throw out my 2 cents on this, guys. Again, you can find this on just about any major or local news site. It seems to be out there being circulated. And again, the story seems to be consistent no matter which site you go to. So anyways, what do you guys think about this? Who do you believe? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that the state senator is just backpedaling because she's in hot water? She was in hot water for bringing the gun into work. Apparently, there was some type of legal dispute over that as to whether she was actually allowed to do that. I don't really have any thoughts either way on her bringing the gun into work. I don't really think she's in that huge of danger being in the state senate, because there are armed guards there at all times, like there is in every state senate building. So, and especially in Arizona, where the incidence of persons carrying firearms legally is, I think, higher than virtually anywhere in the world. So their crime rate tends to be a little bit low. I could be wrong on that, guys, but that was the case the last time I checked. So that's just my opinion. Again, I'm not against her acting within her rights. If it's legal and you're allowed to do it and the person's responsible, I don't know if I would consider her responsible if this stuff is true. I really wouldn't consider that responsible at all, honestly. But, if it's legal, it's legal. Great, But anyways, leave me a comment, guys. What do you guys think about it? Again, if you have a chance, go ahead and check out my other channel, Jimbo247. Stop by, say hello. Hope you enjoy the videos, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.